Hello and welcome back to the back nine of the first round of the 2024 European Open presented by Discmania. We are in Finland at the Tampere Disc Golf Center today. I am Ella Hansen.
I'm Madison Walker. We don't have a snazzy name yet, but if you have any ideas, drop them in the comments.
Yeah, give us some ideas.
We are out at Tampere Disc Golf Center, aka The Monster. We love it here. It's a beautiful course. Also a very challenging course. Look at all those bogey graphics on the front nine.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, lots of colors. What we like to see. Makes for some exciting disc golf. Our feature card with Kristin, Tattar, Eveliina, Salonen, Paige, Pierce, and our own Ella Hansen here in the booth with us today to talk us through. Right now, 2 under par is enough to hold the lead. The back nine only gets more difficult.
Sure does. And we're moving on to one of the shortest holes on the course. Hole 10, 85 meters, par 3. This is a really tight gap. There's a lot of trees at the end of this fairway. You can throw backhand, you can throw forehand. There's no OB. We're really just trying to, as one of the locals told me when I was practicing, if you're gonna hit a tree, try to hit it as late as you possibly can.
I love the forehand play here. That's something I actually did not ever try.
Kristin throwing a beautiful flip up.
Wow, I might try it tomorrow. For the backhand play, I kind of like to aim at that one tree right in the middle, that last tree just to the left of the basket. If you hyzer out, you're still usually at least inside the circle. Flexing one like Eveliina's doing, it's a little bit riskier. It is more open on the right side of the green, however.
This is a 280-foot, 85-meter hole, and Eveliina is throwing as hard as she can.
Yeah. It looked like a driver, too.
And so is Paige. Oh, and a rough kick.
Really committed.
She told me she tried to throw this hole like it was 360 feet.
Love that.
Yeah, I like the forehand, too. I feel confident about hitting that gap.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize I hit that tree. Thank you to that tree. Getting me inside the circle.
Paige, finding some spots today that you don't want to find. But what a scramble.
Yeah, what a shot. Like, just between those 2 branches in that tree. Wow. That's really good.
Oh, man. Eveliina with a great bid from circle 2. Even though this is the shortest hole on the course, there were still only 9 birdies out of 27 competitors. Kristin, going to be one of them from just on the edge of circle 1.
Yeah, good circle 2 make for Kristin.
Ella and a tree.
Ooh,
I'm going to walk away with this birdie.
I think... There you go, Mad. I think it's a sidearm hole. But honestly, this is the kind of hole where you're hoping to, hit a late tree and give yourself some sort of putt, trying to get something in circle 2 or circle 1.
Yeah, definitely no one single guaranteed fairway.
The Eveliina smirk is just makes me smile every time.
Me too. Kristin adding another stroke and securing the lead right now, tied with Silva, who also was able to get the birdie. Moving on to hole 11, one of the most beautiful holes on the course. It's a par 4 and 152 meters. You can go right side gap or left side gap. Pick your poison. I like the right side hyzer flip play. Left side, you could work more of a flex play. Regardless of what you're doing, it is a very narrow fairway, and most of the time, you're not going to really be able to pick your landing zone. You're going to just scramble and deal with what you're given.
Another one of those holes where you just hope to hit a late tree. Silva does not like that, but it stays in the fairway, gets to the point where it's widening out, and she has a little hyzer gap.
checks up right at the edge of circle 1. She'll have an obstructed putt for birdie.
No problem. Dead center. She is such a good putter.
She really is. And her backhand and forehands are both super powerful.
Kristin going with the forehand play off this tee. Playing the right side flex.
Kristin doing plays that I haven't even thought about. This is like the third or fourth time today. Working great though in the fairway.
I'm not sure she meant to turn it over quite that much,
Okay.
but it's still... I like the play of throwing the sidearm flex down the right side, though.
Were you going for the right side, or are you trying to get that to flip up more?
No, I was going for the right side. That's called a shank.
You know Evelina's going to throw something as hard as she can here. I love the left side play. I watched Hannah do this as well today with the
So
super
good.
powerful flex shot.
Just going 110% power at this tiny gap.
It's such a weird angle, too, from the tee pad. It looks a little more open here where the camera is standing, just to the left of the tee pad. But from the front, it is almost a blind fairway that you're throwing at. If you take that left gap.
You can see that middle tree from the tee has been beaten up by plenty of discs.
The poor thing is bare. Paige still with some work left to do. Ella opting for the forehand roller.
I was a little worried the ground was so soft it was just going to go nowhere, but that got kind of a nice reaction.
Yeah, nice and spongy.
You're just talking to me about how she likes being over here because she has this little nose-up hyzer. She just pulls it a little long out to like 13 meters.
Kristin with a similar looking approach to the green.
That looks great. Settling up nicely. Kind of don't always know what's going to happen on these wood chip greens. You can get a nice check up and sit right near the bullseye, or sometimes you can get a big skip, but two great approach shots there.
Eveliina with such a short approach.
Big distance off her drive. Good layup.
Really nice layup from Ella for par. Really like the game plan you're going for here.
Thank you. Oh,
Paige.
Patented Paige.
Yes.
Way out, but
Full send to the belly. I love how Paige is just not scared at all of comeback putts.
no.
Kristin, another birdie. Only 25% of the field got this one. 7 birdies out of 27 competitors.
Including you, Matt.
Yeah.
Good job. You on left side or right side of that gap?
Right side. Right
Nice.
side with something flippy. Hyzer
like
flipping
that.
the way down the fairway. And like Eveliina, I am sending it as hard as I can.
That's kind of the key, honestly, on this course. Like, if you're intimidated or scared of hitting the gaps, you're not gonna hit the gap. You really got to go at everything with confidence and throw it as hard as you need to.
I love that this course demands all the angles in your bag as well. You're throwing mids, you're throwing fairways, you're throwing drivers, flippy, overstable, you name it. You're definitely going to pull it out of your bag at least once.
Yeah, a lot of great variety, not just like in shot shapes, but in hole design on this course. All right, hole 12, 180 meter par 4. Throwing pretty straight off the tee. If you can get a lot of distance, you are trying to get to or around this corner. And this dog leg left, you're going straight down these wood chips into our green. It can be a backhand turnover or a forehand into the green, but you really just want to get to that corner off the tee.
So even though it looks like off the tee you need to wrap the corner to birdie this one, you don't necessarily have to. It's more important to just land right or straight. If you can wrap the corner, however, that is a huge bonus. It's just important to try not to go early left.
This hole also features one of the largest anthills I have ever seen in my life.
Do you know anyone that's gotten bit by one of the ants yet?
Not bit.
Yeah.
But,
they're aggressive. Like where Eveliina just landed, they will probably find her disc by the time she gets there and be all over it.
Yeah. They're a little bit better when it's raining or a little wet out. You get a little scared, like me, of that gap.
I don't blame you. This gap is terrifying. I think this is one of the few times where the camera angle does the gap justice. It looks as narrow as it feels. And even though there is no out of bounds here, the way it is on the right side and left side might as well be out of bounds. It's brutal.
It is
Pretty
brutal.
difficult to recover from. Let's see what Ella does here.
I'm just really going for the forehand roller vibes.
That's how you know you're playing a good round. With how many with your forehand roller count.
How many can you get, honestly?
Still short from the corner. This hole gets infinitely harder trying to recover from there. I like how you didn't go super aggressive.
Yeah, I kind of
Just
felt
taking your bogey.
too far back to really even try to do anything crazy.
Paige going also nice and safe around the corner.
And there is, I believe the course designer talked about kind of cleared out some of those trees on the inside of the gap so you can go for it inside if you want to. Evie's going around, but it does give you that option to get aggressive if you want to and you're not quite to the corner.
One brutal area of this hole is deep on the green. I think Eveliina will be fine where she is, but if you go deep of the basket straight, it is rough trying to putt from there. Super obstructed.
Kristin is, her drive's in the perfect position, her upshot's in the perfect position. Just giving a clinic on how to play this hole. Classic.
That's brutal.
That's the case of that. All right, there's just one tree I should miss. I won't hit it, and then you hit it. Yeah, you can kind of see this back of the screen is really tight.
Paige always coming in hot.
Knew it out of her hand from the knee. Just didn't give it quite enough height.
Eveliina from the little drainage ditch to the right of the screen. She is good for another birdie. One of only 4 today on hole 12. Even though, like, distance-wise, this hole should be birdieable by everybody.
Yeah.
It is so hard.
It absolutely is birdieable by everybody, but you really have to just throw the perfect tee shot, and it's a hard one.
Are you feeling more flexible after today? Like, you got your stretching in.
I did. I had to get some lies from inside of trees.
Is this a disc golf round or a yoga class? Kristin, another birdie. Again, like Ella said, playing the hole exactly the way it's supposed to be played.
Paige coming away with a bogey after that one. And Kristin getting a turkey to start the back nine, moving to 5 under par and taking the solo lead by 2 strokes.
Moving on to hole 13.
233 meters. This one's a par 5. A lot of danger. A nice flexing fairway. There is some OB ponds off the tee shot and a mandatory on this hole. There's a couple of good open shots you can go forehand, go backhand off the tee. We're going to see some aggressive shots trying to hyzer flip a backhand shot that gets around the corner.
Kristin coming off a turkey, and that is rare out here at the Monster.
It sure is.
She's getting just barely around this corner, which is pretty common here. Even though it looks like it's right there in front of you and it should be easy, it's weirdly hard to get around the corner. A lot of players are approaching that corner more of like a left to right type of shot instead of trying to go around it. There's plenty of room on the right side. Eveliina, though, just line drives right by it.
Just going at it with another destroyer. Hitting it with confidence. Yeah, this corner, I don't know what about it. It just feels like...
There's a magnet over there.
Yeah. In practice, I felt like every shot I was throwing into that corner.
Me too. And that's why I was like, I'm going to pull a flippy disc out and just go right like you just did. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see a forehand here.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was a little surprised to not see Kristin go forehand.
Me too.
It's only 764 feet for a par 5, so even if you just chip a single angle sidearm, you absolutely can still get a birdie on this hole.
Even Paige hitting a little bit early, she can still birdie here. There is a Mando that you have to think about. That's why Paige did not try to cut any more of that corner off, kind of throwing more of a sideways shot. But once you are past this pond, you are not worried about the Mando anymore.
Oh,
Nice sidearm.
thanks. You see, I found myself in another tree.
And with another really wide stance.
Yeah. If that was my goal for the day, I did a really good job.
You're going to be so mobile.
Kristin just getting a little too much turn on that, but a good kick into the fairway. And again, she can still birdie from that spot. She threw such a good drive.
Eveliina going so aggressive here. I think it lines up for the forehand, but she's trying to get all the way there for eagle. And that was so close to working.
That was so close.
Look, do you see where she just blasted all the wood chips away behind her disc?
Yeah.
It was like a bomb. Paige with a really nice finesse-y shot up the left side.
It's a soul for Paige, and I walked up to that shot, and I looked at it, and I was like, if I was Paige, I would throw a soul, and she threw it perfectly.
That was amazing. This is a pretty typical third shot here up the left side with a forehand. You have to come in kind of soft, though. These wood chips play fast.
Beautiful. Kristin throws that, I believe that's a Justice, maybe, or a Harp? I don't know.
Harp.
It's good. She throws it good. She threw that for the approach on the last hole as well.
Ooh, I love the right side flex play. So good.
Sometimes it looks like a backhand, and sometimes you just gotta trust the shot that you feel more comfortable with.
And I swear a backhand would come in too hot and skip huge.
Yeah, and a great approach there. Easy distance from Eveliina into the bullseye.
This hole played in the middle of the pack. I kind of thought it would play as one of the easier holes. I think it's one of the more birdieable par 5s, but that tee shot can be brutal. It's nice, though, that even if you do get in the rough early, this is recoverable for par. There were 7 birdies today. Ella with one of them. I like that you're bouncing back from your bogeys with birdies.
I'm trying.
That shows mental fortitude.
I'm trying. Kristin just outside the bullseye. Gets the birdie.
Eveliina with a tap-in birdie as well. Everyone on our feature card with the birdie, a star frame. That's $25 to Edge.
Whoop, whoop.
We love to see it.
And Kristin getting another birdie, extending the lead, still got 2 strokes over Eveliina.
We are here. We are one. We will fight. We will fall. We will prevail. From the fjords of Norway to the shores of Spain, from the fire of Iceland to the hope of Ukraine, 30 countries, one voice. Go Europe.
Moving on to the most brutal hole, hole 14. It's 172 meters of just pure technical disc golf. The gap is pretty far off the tee pad, but still extremely narrow. It looks like you want to throw a hyzer, but in reality, you want more of a straight shot and you just want to work that fade a little bit. The landing zone is not great. The footing can be pretty tricky and it requires a big distance shot if you're trying to get all the way to the green. A lot of players just playing this one for par depending on where their drive lands. There's an out of bounds bunker on the right side of the green and a lattice fence made out of the birch wood on the left side of the green that makes it almost impossible to putt if you're short and left on your second shot. This is another hole where it's kind of player's choice here. You could see a million different game plans. Some people are dead set going left. Some people are absolutely sold going right. Hitting early is the worst thing in the world.
The worst. Yeah, you definitely want to throw a good tee shot. I like softed my last two drives and I was really ready to hit a gap and I threw it straight, but I threw it approximately 5,000% too hard. Paige calling for it to get quicker, but I think that's pretty darn good.
That is great. And if you throw an overstable disc into this gap, you find your way into that left side rough. Wow, Eveliina.
Really
so
impressive scramble shot for her.
So good. She can still par it from there. Oh,
It's just a little inside.
so close to being able to rescue the par. Are you still going to try to go for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. Paige?
Oh, well, that's gonna work.
I'm not sure what she was trying to do here, but being on that left side, if you crash in, which she did perfectly, she will have a circle 2 putt
Yeah.
of some sort.
If you get left of that fence, you got a pretty wide open look, and you can also get a little bold and try to go through the fence if you really want.
Kristin having to straddle out and be a little bit blind, she's going to be right in the middle, and that's where it's the most difficult to access the green. Eveliina going for it on her third and coming in hot.
Coming in hot, just in front of the back wall.
I feel
Giving
like
herself a par putt.
mid-ranges check up more on the wood chips.
Yeah?
They don't get as big as skips. Oh, I'm learning. Nice.
I honestly felt like my best shot of the day. I thought it might sneak under that fence and get inside the circle.
That
but
was great.
felt good about that one.
That's all you can ask for. Kristin didn't get as much distance as I thought she did. She's able to work the hyzer.
Nice. Perfect.
It's a good thing to be a little shorter on this fairway instead of going deep if you are going to go the right side.
I was lucky to get kicked just to the left of the fence.
Yes! What a scramble!
Probably one of the wildest par saves I've ever had, honestly.
Another wide straddle. And this one is on the rim but in. This played as the second most difficult hole of the day. So, I mean, without the drive, you basically birdied it. Congrats.
Thank you. It's a tough one.
Paige looking for a birdie here from circle 2 as well. Similar positioning.
No.
Unfortunately, she's a little shorter than me, so Anne was a little more inside, so she kind of had to go for the Annie putt and just got that height right, but not quite enough turn.
Eveliina looking to drop another long putt to try to save this par. You feel good about par on this hole.
You do. You're gaining 0.93 strokes on the field, so almost a full stroke.
Yep, there was only one birdie today, and it was Hannah. She was on my card. It was unbelievable.
How'd she do it? Just good shot, good shot?
Yep, good shot, good shot. She went hyzer over the sand trap and had a short putt.
Nice.
It just looked a little bit too easy.
She's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Only a third of the field with a par and 2/3 of the field with a bogey or worse.
turning my back immediately after that drive. Kristin taking another par, but still keeping it up after Eveliina gets a bogey, moving up to a 3-stroke lead, and we're going to hole 15, 166 meters, par 4. Throwing a little bit of a touchy downhill shot. You want to land kind of right in the middle of this zone and short of the pond. The second shot is a little bit tough, low ceiling, uphill, a couple of trees in the way. You gotta carve your fairway shot nicely to get up into the green. A little bit of an uphill shot so you can kind of throw something a little bit harder and watch it check up.
I'll do a chase card check-in with Missy. The tee shot really dictates what you can do with the rest of the hole here. Missy in the absolute perfect spot. That little puddle is actually a groundwater spring that has started bubbling up in the last month or so, according to the course designer. They're trying to figure out what to do with it. Right now, it just bubbles on. Missy lands near it, not in it, thankfully, and throws a really well-executed shot up to just outside the bullseye, making this hole look super easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy to be out of position on the tee shot. If you push too far straight or too far left, you are not able to go for the green. You're forced to just play this hole for par at that point. Kristin is going to be a little bit early and pinch to the left. Likely not going to be able to go for it, but she is Kristin. We'll see what she has to work with.
The trees on this hole are a little bit less dense than some of the others on this back nine, so there are a couple of options if you don't end up in the middle of the fairway, but it certainly is not easy.
That is perfectly placed, right next to where we saw Missy land her drive. Paige trying to hyzer flip this putter.
Gets some good distance, but doesn't quite push it as long as she wants.
She's thinking she might have something over there.
We had some good vibes on this card today for sure. Good shot from Eveliina. That's a nice kiss off the tree.
It's really hard not to have fun on this course too, because it is so much fun to play and it's so pretty. And right now it's supposed to be raining and it's not, so we're all very happy.
Very happy, yeah. I thought I threw it so good and then I hit that tree. Sometimes you just have to let out a little shriek. We've seen Paige throw a lot of really good backhand scramble shots, so just catching a tree there.
She was calling for it to lay down because she was headed right towards that pond. Kristin goes over the pond and is able to even get around the corner onto the green, of course.
That's an awesome shot for her.
It sure is.
Holding that on the ante the whole time. Oh, man. These trees are just jumping out of nowhere.
I like that Eveliina chose that middle gap. I think the hyzer gap's a little wider, but it's also a little more low ceiling. Paige, so blind, not able to really pick a gap, just has to force a forehand up there, and that was well executed.
It sure was, yeah. Paige showing off some good scramble forehands on this course, which you kind of need in order to have some success.
This is a nice friendly green. It's great. You don't have to worry about anything.
Wide open.
It's wide open. There's no OB. There's no drop-offs. There's
got
no...
a little uphill to catch your discs, but not so much so you're going to roll away.
Wow, Paige almost scrambling another...
Par?
Yep.
Kristin got to just about 12 meters. And we've seen her knock down some good C2 putts.
Oh.
This is no different. That's a very impressive birdie from where she was.
She's back. Birdie bid from Ella. Par feels good on every hole. I was going to say it feels good on this hole, but that's true for all these holes. There were only 5 birdies on hole 15 today. Kristen going to continue to stretch away from the rest of the field, stacking up the birdies that you gotta get.
Yeah, and up to a 4-stroke lead, and Kristen is just making this back nine look so easy. Has not bogeyed. Just crushing it, honestly.
Another par 5 at 252 meters. This is one that everyone can reach, but the tee shot is extremely challenging. It's uphill. You kind of want a more right finishing shot that opens up the rest of the fairway. It's important to get big distance, either at least on your tee shot or your second shot. Your third shot ideally is a little bit of a chippy shot because that water comes inside the circle and can definitely be found if you're trying to throw a distance shot to the green.
I think this one might be the most beautiful green on the course.
Oh yeah, it is lovely. Right on one of the famous Finnish lakes.
Kristen doesn't quite get enough turn. I think just a little bit of an early release for her. She's not very happy about it.
Yeah, the rough on this hole is pretty brutal. A lot of really small trees. It makes it hard to recover. A lot of times you are forced to pitch out. This is one of the few holes where that is a thing. So Finland has a ton of lakes, and they are known for being some of the cleanest water in the world. All their drinking water coming from the lakes, so it's cool to drive around and see them glittering everywhere.
Yeah. Finland is beautiful, and the water tastes really good.
It sure does. Paige flipping this one over early, and that is recoverable, maybe.
Definitely parable.
Yeah.
Maybe birdieable.
Can't tell. Woof. Love the line.
Yeah, just a little more height, and she gets kind of over that hillside.
She definitely still has some work to do and will probably just be settling for par here. Kristen just going to have to chip out.
Honestly smart, and she's up at the top of that hill. She still has a chance to get all the way down there, putting herself in position to get a par and maybe a long birdie look if she's throwing it real good.
Oh, no.
This is the theme of my round.
One good shot, one bad shot.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Throw too soft, throw too hard, throw too soft, throw too hard.
Yeah, it really, this course reminds you over and over again how important it is to string together good shots.
That's a great shot from Eveliina. The fairway really opens up on the left once you get coming down the hill, so it plays really well for that straight to fading backhand that Eveliina just showed off.
Kristen working the airspace, trying to get way down there, getting right past that center tree.
Sitting right on the edge of the fairway. Yeah, she's down there. She should be able to give herself a par.
Paige with a pretty technical backhand here down to the green.
Pushing it wide with her buzz. Good shot, but I mean, I think if she really wanted to get down there, she got to disc up, maybe go passion, something like that. But very well executed, safe shot for Paige.
Ooh, I like that little swoopy forehand.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to hit the gap and hope it skipped like crazy, but with that wet grass, you never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it pretty much this time of year rains every day, at least a little bit. So everything is saturated and very lush.
There's a couple spots on this course where I was like stepping, or my caddy was stepping, and I could feel it in the ground from a couple meters away.
No one on our feature card able to get on the green for birdie.
That is not true, Madison.
Oh, sorry, did I miss some?
Eveliina's on the green
Oh,
for birdie.
man. Yeah, she is.
Kristin pitching up. Trying to keep that bogey-free back nine alive.
I've been here for a week, and I'm still going to try to use jet lag as an excuse.
And we can see we had some wind ripping off of that lake. Well, maybe just for my putt. Looks pretty cool for Evelina's putt.
Yeah. Eveliina, one of only 3 birdies today. I watched Henna get it on my card as well. And Maria LD Kristin Nardottir
Kristin, her doctor?
from
Yeah.
from Iceland. Yeah, they were both on my card. Both got birdies.
It's a great scramble there for Kristin. She's one of the best players at taking her medicine. I think her like double bogey and above rate is
Very small
wild compared to the rest of the field. It's a rare sight to see. Great at scrambling for pars and bogeys. And Eveliina getting 1 stroke back there on Kristin. Cutting that lead to 3 strokes. Going into hole 17. Probably the toughest gap here on this course. Trying to throw something left to right out of the gap and doglegging upright to a really, really cool sloped green. We've got some trees just here on the inside of the circle protecting you, and obviously this basket is on a hillside, so you want to come in soft to try to land yourself with a putt and not roll down.
Let's watch Missy on second feature card. A lot of pars on her back 9, but nice and clean.
Smooth shot out the gap.
Making it look so easy.
And I would say like throwing a forehand on this helps, but if you can get out the gap, you still are giving yourself a chance at a birdie. It's only 515 feet, and great shot from Missy, getting just outside the bullseye. Whew. Sneaking it over the cage.
Big distance. Missy with the really nice uphill second shot to the green. The wind was coming off the green on 16. That's just to our backs right now. So there was a bit of a tailwind to go through this narrow gap.
Smooth shot from Eveliina.
I think really important here, if you do make the gap, you just want to make sure you don't push too deep where we can see those spectators and the spotter straight ahead.
This is the kind of hole where you just want to throw something you're comfortable hitting the gap with. If you can get out onto this green fairway, you're going to be giving yourself a chance to get up and down for a birdie.
And if you catch any tree, you could be having a very bad time. It's easy to stack strokes in these woods. Wow, that's so good.
That was one of the shots that felt real good today.
Just one.
Just one. Paige putting the jacket on. Going with her fierce. Nicely thrown. Right through the gap. Singing a little song about
The gap
it.
song.
Don't we all have our little gap song?
Yes, and the fact that 4 for 4 on the feature card made it through the gap, that is awesome. Paige working a little bit more of a flexing shot up to the green. Getting tangled up in those trees, but she's inside the circle putting. This plate is...
Honestly, you can kind of aim for those trees. Like,
It's true, like
it's
a,
inside
like
the
a bumper.
circle. Yeah, like play some bumper cars with the trees. Eveliina going through them. Getting to the backside.
That backside green can be pretty brutal. There's a lot of obstructions back there. We're very official out here on the disc golf course.
Kristin also kind of playing that turnover flex and aiming at those trees, getting right on through.
This plate is the 4th most difficult hole of the day, and that is probably just all the people that didn't get through the gap.
Yeah, play's pretty simple once you get through the gap.
The fact that you can throw a forehand, that you're that far down, that is so awesome.
And then miss the putt.
Do you love doing commentary on yourself? What do you
I
think so
love
far?
it, yeah.
Yeah. It's not my favorite. Paige from the bumper trees. Yes.
Good putt. You could see there, like, this is a kind of a tough green. We have some of those really sloped greens, but I feel like when it's this level of slope, you really want to get your legs under you and you gotta try really hard not to foot fault Make sure you get that power, but keep it in behind your mini. Easy birdie for Kristin. Good putt from Eveliina.
Yeah, 3 for 4 on our feature card. This is what you were talking about. Keeping your weight behind the mini.
Exactly.
You could have just rolled into the basket from right there.
Yeah. You know, I already had to squat down to mark my disc. Might as well stay right on the level of the basket for putting. So 3 birdies. Kristin and Eveliina extending away from the rest of the field.
Kristin bogey free on the back so far as we wrap up round 1, hole 18. I don't know what to say about this hole. There is out of bounds on the right-hand side. There's this big monstrosity of a green. I guess that fits the theme of the course, the monster. The basket is perched very precariously on the second tier, and it slopes around on all sides on the back of the green. There's a little flat spot on the short side, but it's very difficult to land on that second tier. Most players that are having a putt are landing on this little first tier.
Silva with a nice reaction. When you kind of hit that AstroTurf or even just any side of these mounded greens, you don't really know what's going to happen. So staying up top, cashing the putt.
It seems like you want to throw a flexing shot like this that lands softly. Also, a hyzer feels like a good play, but there's just not quite enough room to get that angle.
Yeah, it's a straight shot, but you don't really see a ton of people going just straight at it. You'll see a lot of like slight hyzer to flip up just like this from Kristin, or a little baby flex.
During practice, there tended to be a right to left wind, which made it really tough. If you showed any angle of the disc as it faded, it would just push you right to that left-hand side. I think that is the most common landing area. Today, the wind is pretty slack, though, which was nice.
That looks great from Paige. She wants it to sit down, and it does.
That's so good.
Great distance control, great angle control. Throwing that buzz just flat, letting it push.
It's a major advantage here to be able to push a slower speed disc to the screen. At 350, a lot of women in the field are not able to get their slower speed disc there, and I think it's really cool to watch how those discs are able to grab.
Yeah, pretty intimidating green. It's a fun finishing.
Are you going
hole
for it?
This course. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, that's not bad. I love that you sent it.
I was having a weird day. I just kind of wanted to see what might happen.
What would happen? You didn't find out enough today.
It's one of those ones where you putt it and then you look at the catch cam to see how far they're turning their camera down the hill.
Paige with a great birdie to finish out the round and work her way finally under par today, and that is awesome at the Monster. It might not feel awesome when Kristin is 8 down, 9 down.
9 down. And a nasty round for Kristin. She putted so well. She threw the disc so well. This is actually her second highest rated round of her career.
Was it really?
Yeah. Well, unofficially, I guess.
Yeah.
But, kicking off her European Open title defense with a bang out here at the Monster.
Nice little comeback putt. Ella, way to finish off that round. Nice and clean.
Thank you. See if Eveliina can get any sort of grip on the side of this AstroTurf. It's a little tough one. This is maybe the hardest bullseye putt on the course.
Yeah, it's one I wish I would have practiced. It's like such an awkward footing.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays tomorrow. We're looking to get a little bit more weather. Fingers crossed it doesn't get too bad, but we might see a lot more umbrellas up tomorrow.
Yes, we'll see what the forecast does. It does change pretty regularly here. I am going to confidently say we won't see another 9 down, but who knows with this field. This is going to be our lead card for tomorrow. Kristin, Eveliina, Missy Gannon, and Silva Saarinen. who has shredded in Europe this season so far. Very excited to watch them attack the Monster tomorrow for round 2. We have 2 rounds at the Monster in Tampere, and then in round 3 and 4, we move over to Nokia to play the Beast. There is a 3-round cut. Hopefully you guys will come hang with us tomorrow during round 2. And again, if you have any good name ideas for Ella and I, drop them in the comments. In the meantime, I'm Madison Walker.
And I'm Ella Hansen. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.